Today is episode 2 of my Pajamakeup series. If you don't know what Pajamakeup is, it's doing makeup in my pajamas. I know, I'm so creative, right? Well, in my last and first episode, we talked about the kind of foods and things like that that my family does around the holidays. And I asked you guys for suggestions for topics to talk about in this series. And so I have had 2 of you give me topics. So please give me topics down below that you would like to hear me talk about during the series. Today, I'm going to do one that Jenna Rotella actually asked me to do. And she wanted to know what my plans are in this upcoming year. So we're just going to talk about that while we do our makeup. I have my eyeshadow primer on my finger already. It's my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer, my favorite. We are going to be using my Nomad Toscana palette that my amazing, sweet, beautiful friend Rena from Boxes and Deals sent to me during our little advent calendar thing that we did. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you. So it's these beautiful kind of neutral colors. And I'm also going to be incorporating a couple more of the colors from my cousin Debbie that she sent me of these LeLePosh shades. So I'm thinking this one and this one are probably going to be in order. And so I'm going to go ahead. I wanted to show you what I do. I typically just do my eyeshadow primer and then get into my eye look. Well, if you haven't seen the video where I used my these LeLePosh shadows, or a few of them, I will link it up here for you. I ended up having the Encore shade, which is gorgeous. It creased on me pretty bad, and they are a very creamy formula, so I think that's why, because I have very oily lids. I don't typically have a problem. I do have a problem with like cream shadows. I usually cannot use them. So I am hoping that if I put my eyeshadow primer on and then go ahead and set it down with I'm going to use this shade right here to kind of set the primer. I'm hoping that will keep it from creasing this time. So that is what we are going to try out. A lot of times makeup is a game of figuring out what goes together, because certain products do not work well together, or they do for some people and not for others. Like I said, I have very oily lids, so usually cream shadows and things like that do not work out well for me. They just crease up, and so I'm really hoping that I can make these shadows work, because they are stunning and I want to be able to wear them, obviously. So I mean, obviously it was fine like on my inner corner, and underneath would be fine. It's just my lid, so we're gonna see if I can get it to work better on my lid. So I will leave it in the description box if I had better luck with using, with setting down my primer. So there we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start getting into a look. Now in these videos, it's not going to be very focused on the makeup. It's just gonna be more with like talking. So I'm just doing a makeup look while I talk, because I just feel like playing with makeup. Don't feel like getting out of my pajamas, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm gonna do. So today actually is what? It is Monday. Oh, I already know what day it is because it's my uncle and my cousin's birthday. It is Monday, January 11th when I am recording this. And I am excited because tomorrow I get to go back to work. And if you don't know, our family got hit by the dreaded. And so we have been quarantined for 2 weeks. So yesterday was my official first day of quarantine being done. And then I go back to work tomorrow. So I'm very excited and ready to go back and see my coworkers. And I do like my job. I do not say where I work, just for kind of more for safety reasons. But yeah, so I am very excited to get back into the swing of things. And like I said, I enjoy my job. So, I mean, did I miss having, or was it devastating to be off for 2 weeks? No, but I do enjoy it. So I will be happy to get back to it. So in getting into what Jenna had asked about what my plans are for the new year, or for this upcoming year, I very much am, you know, I mean, over the years I've done like the resolution things. They never really work out. I would love to know, I'm sure there are percentages out there. I mean, I don't know how you'd get a really accurate count, but of how many people actually follow through with their, you know, New Year's resolution. I just don't find them to be very effective for me. So I don't necessarily do resolutions. And this year too, I mean, there's goals though that I have. I look at them more as goals. And this year, as far as plans, I do not want to do anything. I don't want to give myself a list of plans that might not be achievable because of, you know, if we learned nothing else from last year, we have learned that things are unpredictable and out of our control. And no matter how much you might want to do something, you might not be able to. And so I figured like there's really no sense in, like, there are things that, yes, ideally I would like to be able to do this year, places I want to go or things like that, but I'm not really going to make that a focus because I think if anything that could just be more disappointing than anything else. So it's like, why even set yourself up for the disappointment kind of thing? Do you know what I'm saying? Not to be like negative and pessimistic. I'm not being that way. I just felt like I should focus on things that are more attainable, things that I do have control over. And so, and I think that's the way we need to do things anyway. I think that is another valuable lesson from this year. Focus on what you do have control over. Focus on the things that you can, you know, control, I guess. There's no other way to really say it. Like, and that way you don't have like that disappointment and that feeling of being out of control because there are things that you cannot control. And I am not a person who needs to be in control. That's not really my personality. But in saying that, there were things this year that it drove me crazy that I felt like I couldn't be in control of. And now for me being someone who's not a, you know, person who needs control, having it driven me crazy, I can only imagine what it was like for people who that is their personality. And so I think it's just very important to not focus on things that we do not have control over. And no matter what's going on in the world, that's just in life in general, we should be focusing on the things we can control and things we can make better and things like that, and not be, you know, focusing on what we like can change I mean, focus on things you can change in terms of good things that you can do. Start small. People look at things and are like, oh, I want to change the world. Well, you're not going to do that. I mean, no single person is going to change the world. The little acts that we do of love and kindness for other people, and when we're given opportunities or look for opportunities to be able to bless other people and help other people, that is how we change things. That is how ultimately things will change. So not getting wrapped up in like that you yourself need to be like this person who makes this huge change in the world. You'll actually find yourself being much more successful in the things that you do try to make a change in. And you'll be much more fulfilled because you will actually see things happening when you are doing things on that smaller scale. Now, I don't mean to say don't dream big, like no, obviously not. But being involved in groups that are, you know, collectively doing things to make things better, that's a way to dream big. No one single person is going to make like a world change. To some extent. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there are occasionally something that happens that like this action of this one person, but the reality is there were probably things behind that with other people too that got them to that point. We were created to work together, and so we weren't created to do things on our own. And so I fully believe that like when we work together, that's when the big things happen. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into getting this on the lid. I just want to do a really simple, like the base around the eye, since the LeLePosh shadows are so stunning. This is Debutante, and so that is my cousin Debbie's shade that's named after her. And I just, you know, wanted to be able to give these shadows some serious time. Yeah, some serious time. And so that is what we are doing. And with my lovely pink pajamas and my gray sports bra, it just seemed like the right color. I got out of the shower and just let my hair air dry, and whoo, man, I do not have nice hair. I've mentioned this before. If you've seen several of my videos, you know I don't have nice hair. But so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pull my hair back because I wanted to give it a break from heat, and that's always good to do. Give your hair a break. And so I was like, I'm not even about to try to straighten or curl or whatever. Like, I'm in my pajamas. Just the whole point of this is to not make it a production where I'm like, I'm not gonna record because I don't feel like getting all ready to record. That's where Pajamakeup came from. It's like, I just want to play with makeup, but I don't want to have to like put on all my jewelry and feel like I need to get myself all together. Like, no, I just want to play with makeup. So we're gonna do it in our pajamas. So the pulled up hair seemed like a good idea. This is really pretty. It's actually pretty soft. Like, even though it's got an intensity, it's soft, and I like that. Like, because sometimes I really, really like just a more soft look. Now, I'm going to take a brush too and put this on because I'm assuming your fingers, I should pay better attention to Debbie's videos when she has showed how she's doing it, because I just don't know like the best way. And these shadows are so gorgeous, and I want to give them, that's not picking up anything, so I don't think that's it. I mean, I think it's typically her fingers that she uses to apply these. It does look really pretty, but I can already tell it's creasing, and I don't know what to do about that because I even set my primer. What's happening? Why is this happening? I don't know. I mean, it's still pretty, but you can see exactly where all of the creases of my lid are. It's because the formula is very creamy, which is beautiful and easy to work with. I just don't know if it works for my eyes, unfortunately. But Debbie has hooded eyes too in hers, but I don't think she doesn't have the oily lids like I do. She has drier skin. I'm gonna go ahead and do my face makeup, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you the actual things that are my plans for this year, since we haven't got there yet. Okay, my face is on, so let's continue. So, what are my plans for the upcoming year? I don't have a ton, but I think that's more practical as well. I think if you give yourself a huge list, it's just overwhelming, and you're bound to be less successful when you're overwhelmed. So I think that's just the nature of humans. But for things that I want to see happen in this next year that I feel like I have control over so that they are more likely to happen, number one, first and foremost, is spending more time in my Bible, spending more time just in devotions, devoting time to God, spending that time of quiet and not letting all of the other things of life, you know, be a distraction to me, because I know that when I regularly spend time with him and read the Bible and know truth, when truth is in my mind and in my heart, I'm a much happier person. I'm a much, more joyful person, because true joy comes from him. It's all about him, because when joy is something that is not, it doesn't change depending on your circumstances. Joy is something that's in your heart, and he places it there because you know the promises that he gives. You know the truth of what is going to happen, and so it doesn't allow the things of this world to take over and make you as, I mean, not that things aren't still upsetting, don't get me wrong there. Like, injustice is injustice, and I mean, the Bible is, speaks a lot about that as well. So it's not that, but you don't get so wrapped up in the things that are going on in this world that seem like, when you know that this is not all there is, it changes everything. And so that time that I spend with him, when I take that time and devote that time in the morning, throughout my day, I hear him. No, I don't hear an audible voice, but I recognize when I don't believe in coincidences. Most of the time, things are not a coincidence. And if you're paying attention, God does speak to you. If you take time and spend time with him, he does. He tells you his word does not return void. When you spend time with him, he is with you. He hears you. I mean, he hears you anyway. I don't mean that, but you hear him a lot more when you are spending that time. So that is number one, the biggest thing that in this year, I want to be much more intentional about the time that I spend in my Bible and just seeking God and hearing his voice. And so obviously that's something very attainable, and I am in control of that, if I spend that time or not. So that is my number one thing. Number two would be spending more family time, quality family time. We used to spend a lot of time playing games and stuff together, and we have not done that. And it's kind of strange because we've had more time together. I guess I should probably do something with my makeup while I'm sitting here talking. Yeah, so you would think that in all this extra time that we've had at home together, we would be spending more time doing that stuff. But we have not been. And so I want to do one family game night a week and just, get back to spending that time together. I am showing you this, even though I said I wasn't going to focus on the makeup, but I just want to show you. This one is called, so Debutante was the one I put on my lid. This is Coupe. Like, that's just so important to me. Again, something you have more control over is in your own household. So focus there. Focus on that time you spend with your spouse and your children, and feeding into their lives, like giving them love. We all need to feel that love. And when you purposely devote time to people in your life, they feel loved. That's an important thing, that you are willing to take your time to spend with them. I'm gonna grab some spray so I can spray this and wet it. I do want to say with these shadows, please do not judge them on my application. Watch Debbie do it because she's used to them, and so she works with them much better than obviously I do, because I don't know what I'm doing. Because I felt like I was just gonna really, put this liner of this blue here. That is better now that I wet it. And I'm like, feel like it's not showing up like it should be, and I'm sure it's because of my application. So yeah. So yes, just spending that time with my family, devoting special time where we are sitting around the table, playing games and talking and laughing and just, spending that time together. So that is something I definitely want to do much more of this year. And then I really just have one more, and that is just getting back into working out regularly. That doesn't mean every day. It doesn't mean 5 or 6 days a week. If it is that, great, fine. Like, if that's what I really feel like doing. But I would like to just, kind of challenge myself to do 3 days a week so that I am being physically active, and I want to build muscle is my main thing. It's not so much about losing weight at this point. I feel comfortable really with the weight I'm at. I just really want to build muscle and have like that strength, and I got a lot of loose skin, and so building muscle definitely helps with that too. I mean, I'm realistic. I was overweight for a lot of years, and my skin stretched, and I never had nice skin to begin with. I had stretch marks in junior high. Like, my skin is just terrible. My dad has bad skin like that too, like scars easy and stuff. And so I have to be realistic that I'm not going to have like this amazing tight body, like whatever, which is fine. I don't really care about that. And so it's just more about getting myself in shape where I feel strong. I want to feel strong and like good about my body in that type of way, instead of not so much for looks wise. Obviously that's a bonus, I'm not gonna lie. Who doesn't want to look good? But it's more so about just that feeling of that strength, because I've had that before and I loved that feeling, and then I kind of let it go by the wayside, and I don't like that so much. Okay, I am going to grab a liner. I'm going to use this LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liner in Electric, which is this blue, because I think it will pair nicely with that blue that I just put underneath, or along my lower lash line there. I need to sharpen this. And I actually think I'm going to take a little bit of Debutante again and put that in my inner corner. Then I'm going to put a little something over top of it too. But yeah, those are basically my 3 things that, you know, I want to see happen in this year. And I, for the most part, can be in total control of those. Now, the one with the family game night, obviously there might be some weeks. Well, for one thing, you have to be flexible. So, I mean, my kids, 2 of my kids work, you know, obviously my husband and I both work. Most of the time we're all, you know, we are home in the evenings, but not always. And my youngest son is starting basketball season, so there's going to be a lot of, you know, running around with that, and you know, or him being at games, which totally stinks because we can't go watch. I'm so over this stuff, let me tell you. And so, you know, we'll have to be flexible about what night game night can be, you know, or whatever. Okay, and then I'm going to go over top of it with this shade right here, which is called Promenade. But other than that, my devotion time and working out are totally under my control. And so I have no one to blame but myself if I am not doing those things. And so those are things that I am, it's not even so much challenging myself to, because they're things that are so amazingly wonderful for me in every aspect while I'm doing them. The results of after I do them, obviously the time spent with God is more important than the exercise, but it's, you know, there are similar types of benefits of things where both are long-term, you know, when you keep doing them, are very beneficial. And so that's kind of a cool thing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do my lashes and that good stuff and a lip, and then we will come back and wrap this up. Okay, and my look is finished. And I decided to just keep it light on the lips. I used the Fresh Sugar Petal little lip here. These are so wonderful. They feel so good on the lips. I had mentioned that when I was at, this one has a light color to it. Why is it not focusing? Or is it, and I'm just, I don't know. Hopefully you can see. Anyway, I mentioned that at camp this year, I had taken this one and another one and had been using them and realized I was not having to put on lip balm all day. And I'm like, okay, these are so nice. And there's ones that are clear. There's ones that have just a light tint to them. And so, yeah, I figured since this look was nice and light and fresh kind of looking, that I would keep the lips the same. And so I enjoy that. So yes, on my eyes, so then I just used those 2 shades, well, no, 3, I lied. This was all over the lid, and then this was my transition, or kind of crease everywhere, and this was more just at the outer corners. And then just used that Debutante shade, which is looking very pretty. It is not looking as, I'll come up close so you can see, creasy as I thought it might have been. So hopefully that will continue that way. And then I used the Coupe color, this one, ran that underneath the lower lash line. And then I think it was definitely a good choice to use this liner to draw out that Coupe color. And yeah, very simple, but it's very like light and pretty, and I actually really like it. And with my hair pulled up, I feel like kind of like I look like a ballerina or something, even though I'm totally not, and I would fall in my butt, but I can pretend. So yeah, you guys let me know what you thought of Pajamakeup episode 2. What are your, do you have any resolutions or just plans or things like that? Is that not something you typically do? you know, I think it's good either way. Some people work really well with having like a list of goals specific that they want to, you know, achieve. And then other people, it's just overwhelming to them and puts pressure, and then they end up not doing anything. So there's a lot of different types of personalities, and it kind of just depends on what yours is, what works best for you. But yeah, like I said, I chose things that are attainable. They are things that not only will they benefit me, but they'll benefit my family. And so that is what my answer is to what my plans are for this upcoming year. Thank you guys so much for watching. And like I said, please leave me some suggestions down below for topics you would like to hear me talk about in upcoming episodes of Pajamakeup. I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.